Hello, hello, good morning, Attracting Prosperity 101. Oh, let's move my light. These lights, I tell you, man. You can see that light. I got these two big old lights. This is still. Anyway, good morning. Happy Friday, April 10th. April 10th. We're in the second quarter. You know, I know things are crazy with the coronavirus, but what progress are you making up to that point? You know, that didn't happen till really start changing things till March. Point here is you can't make excuses. Shit's always going to happen, right? So this has actually been beneficial to me. Hang on. All right, welcome back, podcasters. Thank you for your patience listening to my cute little commercials. All right, yeah, this is just part of sharing the journey. I was up till after midnight last night doing my taxes. I've been kind of putting them off because now that I'm a business owner, I owe taxes every year, so I'm not in a hurry to do them. Last year was a little bit of a wake-up call. This year, and the IRS does not make it easy. I'll tell you that right now. So if you're gonna start doing stuff, you're gonna have to, unless you can afford to pay someone else to do it for you. But even then, it's a little bit scary because you have to trust other people. I believe that there is some personal due diligence to know kind of what's going on and then pass it on. And that's what I'm at the stage I'm doing. Because I'm not really big yet, so I had to do my taxes to see where I stand because I had no idea how much I owed. Last year, I'll give you an example. Last year was the first year that I was mostly on my own. I had still worked for my old company. I think I had made like $7,000 with them. And when I first put all my information in, it said I owed $12,000 in taxes last year. I was like, holy shit. But with some finagling and let's just leave it there, I got it down to $1,600. This past year, no W-2, completely on my own. I knew that I needed to pay in because I almost had to pay a penalty last year on taxes for the year before. But you have to go through this process, and then the IRS has to send you a PIN number through the mail. And I just never set it up. I was like, I'm not making that much money. It'll be all right. And I kept saying I'm going to do it, and I didn't do it. So I didn't pay anything in last year. And I did end up paying, it was like a $56 fee. I did manage to get, I owe just under $2,000. And all things considered, that's fine. I'm good with that. But I needed to know how much I owe, especially with everything being shut down, so I can help make decisions going forward. I will start paying in this year, so I won't have to owe as much. The goal is to try and break even at the end of the year. So that was exciting. I know yesterday I shared with you guys some of what I'm doing here. And part of it is just getting consistent because I'd say half of what I'm doing is content. The other half is affiliate marketing. So the things I share with you as we go along, I will be an affiliate of and make a commission off of until I create my own products at some point. And I'm doing that through this medium, but I also want to do it just through advertising. Some of you may know I'm really an introvert. It took a while for me to get on video. If that's something you're wanting to do, if you have that urge, don't do it just because people tell you need to. There's ways to make money and do things with, you can do podcasts and never even be seen, because I'm doing a podcast now as well. Do what you feel like you want to do. Which brings me to this. There's a difference between wanting and needing, right? I'm not going to go into depth into that right now. Part of my goal is to be able to master marketing and affiliate marketing so I can share that with people that don't want to do all this. Because right now what I'm doing, now if you were just to do one podcast and one video, since I'm doing 3, like I told you, I with the podcast I can start and then stop and then do them in segments and then put them all in an episode, and that's what I do. So in between each video, like I've already done 2 videos, so I save the video, I rename it, then I upload it to YouTube. While that's processing, I do the next segment. And at the end of each segment on the podcast, I change the name, I add the music, and then I add it to the episode. Then after the next video, do the same thing. While that's processing, I change the name of the video, I put it in a separate file, I go back to YouTube, because the first one had uploaded. I take that link, put it in my blog, because not only do I have a Ron's Choice, the Fundamental Diet, and Attractive Prosperity YouTube channel, I have a website for each one. So, and I share those, and I have a fan page for each one. So at that point, I take the link from YouTube, put it into a blog post. I'm just keeping it simple now. I'm just posting the video, and then I post that. Then I take the next video, download it. Same process for all 3. And then when I'm done, I'll go back to my blog, which I have share tabs on there. And then I'll share the blog post to the fan page. This is, obviously it would be a lot easier if I was just doing it on one. Now, for example, I've learned that YouTube has changed their policies. Before, you could put commercials and ads in your videos. Now, you have to be approved, and you have to meet their criteria first. One of them is 1,000 subscribers, 44 hours of views, and something else. So, obviously, if I did all 3 on one, I wouldn't have to try to build an audience on all 3. But again, not everybody's wanting to learn how to make money online. Maybe they just want to improve their relationships and their personal well-being, which would be Ron's choice. Maybe some of them are wanting to lose weight. That's why I'm keeping them all separate. And I'm telling you this because whatever you start, make it specific. Get a niche, so to speak. Just don't talk about random willy-nilly. A lot of what inspires me is, and this is kind of how life works, if you don't know what you want, you can learn by what you don't want. And that's usually what happens with life, because most of us don't know what we want. We focus on the things we don't want, and that's what we tend to get. I look at videos and how other people talk and how other people do things when I'm trying to absorb content, when I'm looking for stuff, and I say, man, I don't like that. And I'm like, if I was to do it, I would do it differently. And that's what I'm trying to do. I try to keep it to the point. I try not to keep it, I try to keep it honest and transparent, not commercially. And I get the whole sales process, but it's so aggravating that some of the headlines that people put up are awesome because they get me. And I go in, and half of the time, it's not even near what the headline says. And sometimes when it is, it takes 30 minutes for them to get to the point. That aggravates me. I'm going to do my best to stay reminded of that and not do that. That's just so aggravating. But I get it. But what we have to remember is everybody's different, right? You're not going to sell whatever you're doing, if it's information, if it's a product, if it's you, you're not going to sell everybody. If you have that mentality, you have to get rid of it. You just need, I think the number is 1,000 loyal customers to have a decent income. Everybody's different, so they appreciate different methods. So be you, be authentic, follow the standard guidelines, don't try to reinvent the wheel, but if you see a way to make or do things better, because if you think you feel a certain way, guaranteed you there's someone else there. So you want to hit a big enough audience so you can have a business and sustain. That's what this is all about. Which brings me to the original point that I wanted to share. Oh, that was yesterday. I don't think I talked about that, did I? I honestly don't remember what the hell I talked about yesterday. That's crazy. Great. Yes, expectations. What I've found for myself is I go through this process, I see, like my analogy with driving the car at night, all you need to do is see 200 feet in front of you and then go on to the next. But you also have to have that vision of, if you're driving to a vacation destination, what that's going to look like, what that's going to feel like when you get there. You've got to have the end goal in your mind. So sometimes I lose that in this process that I'm doing. I'm doing this, and this is where it's like Groundhog Day. I just keep doing this because I haven't set that vision out far enough, and that's what I'm starting to do now. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to get up and go to work. I'd love to get up and make videos and make money and grow this. So I'm acting as if, faking it until I make it, whatever you want to call it. I'm going through the process, and now I have to start seeing how that money's going to come in, because that's all part of it. That's not the main focus, but obviously I want to replace my other income, and I've got it right in front of me, the amount of money I want to make. The point is, don't get all caught up in the how and the doing, and remember to keep that feeling of what it feels like to be and do what you're going to have going forward. That's the main thing. The expectation. But you have to know what that is. You have to know what that looks like. Because if all you're doing is expecting to work, and make videos, or pedal whatever you're pedaling, you've got to see that bigger picture. An example of often given is it's not everybody because they do it differently, but there's kind of this small phenomenon with college coaches. A lot of them that are successful in college, they come to the NFL and they don't do as good. Several reasons for that, but one that's used in this scenario is their goal was to make it to the NFL, and then that was it. So they made it to the NFL, and then they were just in that circle. The goal should have been to go to the Super Bowl, and the making it to the NFL was just part of it. Then the next goal and vision should have been making it to the Super Bowl. And then they could have taken their skills and their knowledge to get them there. But the prize for them was just getting to the NFL. So make sure that you keep your eye on the prize. You've heard that phrase before. Be present, but work towards the future. Don't live in the past. Your past has helped you become who you are right here, right now. It is what it is, but it's not what it's going to be. And that's up to you and me. All right, that's enough for today. 9:57. So this whole process is taking me about an hour. That's not bad. I'm good with that. I started at 9 o'clock this morning. It's now 9:57. That's complete setup, setting the lights up, getting going. I've got to transfer some of the stuff over. It's probably another 15 minutes worth of work. And, yeah, I'm good with that. You guys have a great weekend.